Graduating in the Ninja Academy is a very important step for a shinobi in the Naruto world. There seems to be an average standard age for ninjas to graduate, which is 12 years old. Every single member of the Konoha 12 we meet in part 1 graduated at 12, the San siblings graduated at 12, the new generation in Boruto graduated at 12. This really seems to be the norm. However, there are special circumstances that occasionally happen when characters graduate before that. For example, in periods of war, they may actually graduate shinobis earlier so they can use them in the battlefield. It isn't ideal and it isn't what Hashirama created the Leaf Village for, but it is what it is. Also, there are some ninjas that are just so talented that keeping them longer in the Ninja Academy up until they were 12 just doesn't make sense because they're just far above that level already. So let's take a look at all those characters, at least the ones we know about, that graduated before they were 12 years old and became full-fledged ninjas. But before that, make sure you like this video and subscribe to this channel if you enjoy this type of content. Let's begin with the characters that graduated in the Ninja Academy and became Genins at age 11. The first one is a surprising one. It's Konohamaru. You may be surprised that he graduated before Naruto, Sasuke, Neji. He was 11 years old in the beginning of Shippuden, and we can clearly see he is already a Genin. The next one is also surprising. Iruka. Yes, Naruto's Chunin sensei in part 1 graduated in the Ninja Academy when he was 11, 1 year before Naruto. Take that, Iruka deniers. He is very strong indeed. It doesn't matter that he's never used the jutsu, he is a powerful shinobi. Now let's move on to the characters that were 10 years old when they graduated the academy. The first one is Ebisu, Konohamaru sensei. He doesn't have much screen time, but we know the age he graduated, which is pretty interesting. The next one is Ibiki, the proctor of the written exam of the Chunin exams and also Konoha's main interrogator. Anko Mitarashi, Orochimaru's pupil and the proctor of the Forest of Death, also graduated at 10 years old. Our Fishman Kisame also graduated at 10, though he is much more powerful than the rest here. I don't know, man. It doesn't really matter. You can see that these ages are not terribly important for what you're gonna become. They can indicate something here and there, but still. Genma was 10 years old as well when he graduated the academy. Kabuto was also 10 when he graduated, though I'm not sure where he graduated because he was a spy everywhere. Probably Konoha, I know, but still. Dan was 10 years old when he graduated the academy. Tsunade's lover. And finally, and also very surprisingly, Minato was 10 years old when he graduated the academy. Now, you would think he would be younger because he was said to be an unparalleled talent in the Leaf Village, which is a pretty big deal, but he's nowhere near the youngest Genins that are on this list. It was probably because the Leaf Village wasn't really at war when Minato graduated, and they were at war when a lot of these other ninjas that I'm gonna mention graduated. But yeah, Minato, one of the biggest geniuses in the Leaf Village, was 10 when he became a ninja. Now let's move on to the ninjas who became Genins when they were 9 years old. Beginning with Sai. Yes, the man who became a servant of Danzo was actually 9 years old when he graduated the Leaf Village Academy. The next one is Zabuza Momochi, also 9 when he graduated. And not only that, but he also killed all of his classmates before he graduated. It was like his entrance exam. He was only supposed to kill one guy, but he killed all of them just because I guess he wanted to. And he was 9 when he did that. That's even younger than Itachi was when he slaughtered the Uchiha clan, because Itachi was 13. So it's a pretty crazy thing. And the next one is pretty surprising. Rin Nohara. Yes, the one who broke Obito's heart up until he died was 9 years old when she graduated in the academy, which is pretty strange to me. I've always considered Rin to be a little bit of a fodder character, and I still have that opinion. We never really see her using a jutsu, even though she doesn't have much screen time, but regardless, I thought she was much more like a Sakura character in part 1, pretty useless, but apparently she wasn't, because she became a ninja when she was 9, which is a pretty interesting feat. Mei Terumi, the 5th Mizukage, became a Genin when she was 9 as well. Shizune, Tsunade's main helper, became became a Genin when she was 9 too. Kurenai Yuhi became a Genin when she was 9. Asuma also graduated the academy when he was 9. And Obito Uchiha became a Genin when he was 9, which is a little interesting to me because Obito's story was that he was a black sheep in the Uchiha clan. He wasn't very talented. Regardless, he became a Genin when he was 9, which is way before Neji and Sasuke, who were considered to be geniuses in their time and graduated when they were 12. And sure, that may be because the Third Great Ninja War was raging on when they graduated and they had to fight in the war and they need more people, but still pretty young age for a guy that's considered to be not talented. Let's move on to the 8-year-olds, which is a pretty short list. There's only one shinobi in this section of the video here, which is Baki, the guy who was the sensei of the Sand siblings in part 1, and then he appeared in part 2 a little bit and never appeared again after the Kazekage rescue arc, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember ever seeing him again. What happened to this guy? Because he just disappeared from the manga/anime. It's pretty weird. And now let's move on to the 7-year-olds who graduated the Ninja Academy, starting off with a very peculiar one, which you wouldn't think. Might Guy. Yes, Might Guy was 7 years old when he became a Genin, which is even stranger than Obito because Guy's entire character is that he is not talented and that he has to make up for it with hard work and taijutsu. It's very similar to Rock Lee. And Might Guy graduated when he was 7. Guy was probably very talented at taijutsu just from the get-go. We don't get that impression in the flashbacks with his father and all that, but Sakumo, Kakashi's dad, recognizes that Guy is a talent and he has the potential to grow a lot, and Kakashi sees that was true, and Guy is fighting Jubidara and all that. Guy graduating at 7 years old says a lot about how he is actually very talented for taijutsu, even more so than Rock Lee, who graduated at 12. Moving on, we have Sasori, who graduated the academy when he was 7, becoming a Genin. We know Sasori is very talented, especially creating puppets, you know, it's his whole shtick, and he was a very famous ninja in the Sand Village, even killing their most powerful Kage ever, at least up until Gaara became more powerful. And lastly, for the 7-year-olds, we have Itachi Uchiha, who became a Genin when he was 7, which is also a pretty interesting feat, even though Itachi was supposed to be one of the biggest geniuses in the Leaf Village, just like Minato was supposed to be, and 7 is not the youngest possible age on this list, and you're gonna see younger ninjas here, but 7 is pretty impressive. Itachi was 8 years old when he awakened the Sharingan, so he graduated a little bit before that, just like Sasuke graduated a little bit before he awakened his Sharingan. And there wasn't really a war during the time when Itachi was in the academy. The Third Great Ninja War ended just before he entered the academy, so there wasn't really a need for ninjas to be rushed out of the academy. They weren't exactly in a hurry to promote Itachi into Genin, and that's why he was promoted only when he was 7, because otherwise he could have become a Genin way before that. Hiruzen himself said that Itachi thought like a Kage when he was 7 years old. Not that he was Hokage level in terms of strength, but he has the mentality of a Hokage, which is pretty impressive, and if you have the mentality of a ninja of that caliber in that young age, you're definitely cut to be a Genin at least. And now we move on to the 6-year-olds that graduated the academy, beginning with a very odd one that you may not expect, Yamato. You wouldn't really think that Yamato would be one of the youngest ninjas ever, because sure, he's not weak, but he's not a powerhouse by any means in Shippuden and all that. Having the wood style when you're so young just makes you so much more powerful than just little kids that don't really know much about life and don't have any idea of how to use their chakra. So just having the Hashirama cells on you are gonna give you this massive boost in strength. So he's already capable of being a ninja when he is 6, thanks to Orochimaru. And speaking about Orochimaru, he is the next one on our list. He became a Genin when he was 6 years old, just like Jiraiya, who was also 6, and Tsunade. So the entire Sanin team became Genins when they were 6, and that's of course because they were very talented, even though Orochimaru was supposed to be the more talented of the bunch, especially more talented than Jiraiya, but still they all became Genins at the same time, and that's because of the wars. And before we reveal the youngest ninja of all time, I have some ninjas that I would like to talk about, that we don't know their age of graduation, but we know that they were definitely younger than 12 when they did. The first one being Shisui Uchiha. He met Itachi when Itachi was 5. He was already a ninja when he met Itachi. Shisui is 1 or 2 years older than Itachi, so he was 7, maybe 8 when he met Itachi, so a very young Genin as well. The next one that we don't know the age is Killer B, but we can see him sinking the lariat in those flashbacks when he is very young. He looks 7, maybe 8. I have to assume if you're gonna be the duo of the future Raikage, you have to be a ninja, so he's definitely a Genin at least. And now, let's move on to the youngest Genin of all time, a ninja that graduated the academy at 5 years old, and that would be Kakashi. You probably saw that coming because he is in the thumbnail. Just think about that. Put that in perspective. He was 5 years old when he became a ninja. You may forget this because it's so commonplace, but ninjas are essentially soldiers in the Naruto verse. Imagine a 5-year-old soldier in real life. That's almost inconceivable. I couldn't even read when I was 5 years old, and Kakashi was fighting in a war. When you become a shinobi, you're expected to be intelligent, you're expected to perform ninjutsu, taijutsu and all that. To be 5 and do that proficiently enough is insane. We all know Kakashi is extremely talented, and of course I didn't even mention a lot of exceptionally strong ninjas here like Madara, like Hashirama, the old generations that didn't even have the academy when they were growing up, so they didn't really have a ranking. Hashirama and Madara would have become Genins at the very most when they were 7 years old, because when they were small kids, they were already in the battlefield fighting wars against adults, and they survived all the way through that, and they were said to be among the strongest members of the respective clans, which were the 2 most powerful clans in the entire world. But there you have it. Kakashi is the youngest ninja of all time, as far as we know. Of course, we don't know every single ninja in every single village, and also there's a lot of ninjas that, even though they're the same age as the ninjas I mentioned on this list, we just don't know when they graduated the academy, and so I'm not gonna be guessing here because it could be anything. Watch this video right here for more entertaining content. Like this video, subscribe to this channel, and thanks for watching.